Hello everyone, I'm Moonrain and welcome to my channel. Today I'm joining in on the 12 deck tag, which was started by Angel from Feeding My Soul 1212. I decided to group this tag into 4 different categories that really reflect where I'm at right now. Some of these are brand new Kickstarter decks or indie creations that I haven't really opened just yet. Others are decks that I've dabbled with but haven't really fully integrated into my practice, and hopefully today I could kind of get into that. And a few I've honestly not really sure about whether I want to integrate it into my practice, and one is a really big project that deserves its own dedicated series, which I'll get into as our last prompt. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start with the first prompt, and for me I'm going to say these are my unopened brand new decks. These are decks that I've been really excited to get, like Kickstarter or indie decks, and they've been sitting untouched on my shelf. I haven't been feeling really well as of late, so I haven't really gotten a chance to open this. I think I got this a couple of days ago. This one specifically is from Cara Marie Cruz. This is a Kickstarter deck and it's called the Pax deck. She meant this deck to be like a self-reflection, meaningful and empowering type of deck that creates like clarity, purpose, and peace in your readings. I'm sorry, I'm struggling here. It's a little tight. Let's see. Comes in a beautiful little bag here. I'll look into the bookmark in just a minute here. Here it's saying, "Thank you for supporting my small business. May these cards fill you with inner wisdom and guide you in your journey inward, Cara." Well, it's really beautiful. Okay. So this bookmark looks like it's giving you little prompts for journaling practice, how to start a journaling method, reflection, and setting intention. And here are the prompts in the back. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so let's look in here. The prompts look like they're daily prompts, weekly ones, and the last being unpacking a situation. So this is the Pax Tarot, like I mentioned, from Cara Marie Cruz. And here is the PDF for the guidebook. And I'll just quickly go through these. This is a great little travel deck for sure. Let's look at some of the minor arcana. They're pretty thin. That looks like they bounce pretty easily. Bounce back. Alright, so that is the Pax Tarot. It was a Kickstarter that I recently backed, and since the creator and I are in the same state, I got this relatively quickly. So that is the Pax Tarot, and I'm hoping to have this on hand at all times since it's a great little portable size. So thank you so much, Miss Cruz, for sending this. I really love this. Beautiful deck. Alright, so let's move on to the second deck here. I'm sure you guys seen a lot of this deck lately. Oh, how cute. Okay. So this is the Peculair Pathways Tarot, and oh boy, I'm a little scared to read with this deck. I am very much the type of person who likes figures on my decks. However, Cara from Cara Tarot for Enlightening has used this deck extensively, and she just well, first of all, she's an amazing reader, but she really finds this deck really good to read with directions, despite not seeing any figures in the actual deck. So I'm excited to try this out. So because of that, I'm going to be using this deck on a different tag altogether, called the Deckcollectorsclub, where I'm going to be playing around with it for a week, and I'm going to see how it works using the types of readings that I do. I'm not very good with psychoanalytic type of questions, which I know most YouTubers are. I tend to be a little bit more, ask more like practical questions, like what's going to happen this week or next week? Am I going to get this or that, whether, you know, in regards to work or situations like that. But I'm slowly working on that as I'm, you know, progressing into opening up more into that type of questions. All right. So if I didn't mention yet, this is from Lennox Rees. I believe her website is Ivy Lee. It's beautiful. I love the edging here. I'm just going to quickly flip through this because I'm sure you guys seen this so many times already. There's nothing new that I could possibly add. However, once I do get into the challenge and get to know this deck a little bit better, I definitely will make a full video regarding this deck here. So that was Peculair Pathways Tarot. Here are some of the replacement cards that she also added. It's a beautiful bookmark. Oh, this will be perfect for my guidebook. Wow. Lennox. Oh, I'm definitely going to keep that in my altar. Oh, it comes with a digital guidebook as well. How wonderful. Okay. I love all these little goodies here. Okay, so let's look at her notebook. This is so beautiful. I don't know what I'm going to fill this with, but I can't wait. I'm definitely a notebook queen. I have so many notebooks of just random things. Even when I'm reading, I just always need a notebook just to write down everything that I'm learning. Definitely an active learner here. I'm so excited to use this book. I'm going to use it in conjunction with the Ultimate Tarot book of meanings. I'm having a little hard time here. I know so many people praise over this guidebook because it goes over all of the different symbols in the cards, and I cannot wait to see what the difference will be if I were to see, you know, what looks like a condor maybe. Let's look at number 4. Vulture. It's a vulture. A vulture, as well as the wolf here, and how that would change, right? The 9 of Wands. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. This is going to be a very long video if I continue looking at these things. Again, the second deck here is the Peculair Pathways Tarot by Lennox Rees. I ordered the guidebook as well as her little notebook here. It's so cute. And it came with a few goodies. So beautiful. Okay, so that is the second deck that I ordered that I haven't opened up yet. Let's look at it. The third one. Okay, so the third one is the Moon Void Tarot. This was supposed to be a tarot deck that I did not want to share with others. Since I do readings for others, I've noticed that most of the decks that I use for my personal use, I also use for others. And I saw other people use this deck, and I felt like it was so deeply personal that I thought it was best if I kept this for myself. And she kind of reminds me of me with her long dark hair. So let's see. I was hoping to get the 4th edition, but it looks like it's out of print, and so I haven't been able to get that. But I was hoping to make like a little mishmash of both the original version and her 4th version. I know she mentioned recently in a post that she has been called to make another deck. So I don't know whether I should just wait and see before opening this up and moving forward and just buying the other deck and just selling this brand new untouched, or if I should just go ahead and mix the different cards, because there's some cards here that I would love to mix with the newer version, and vice versa. So I'm still hesitating to open this one up just yet, but we'll see. This is the French edition, so I'll have to find a way to translate this. I'm hoping I could use like Google Translate or some other AI program or something that might be able to help with this. So very excited. Definitely would love to read the guidebook. I'm a big book fan, so sometimes I read the book, or not sometimes, most of the times I read the book in its entirety before I even open up the decks themselves and play with them. Okay, so that's the Moon Void Tarot by Stephanie Caponi, and let's see if I have another deck that I was supposed to open. Just give me a second. Okay, so the very last deck here that I have that is not open is the Beetlejuice Tarot deck. This was one of the decks that I was debating whether to get, just because a lot of videos mentioned during their review that some of the cards didn't really resonate with the type of energy that the elemental suit or number was, and some of them also mentioned that the tarot decker guide was a little bit cumbersome, but I do plan to convert this into a book perhaps and see where that goes. Maybe I'll record that. It's so beautifully illustrated though. I plan to connect with this deck a little bit differently. What I plan to do during October is have a day for Beetlejuice where I'm gonna watch the movie and just kind of look for the scene with each card and just kind of gather a little bit more context and make my own little guidebook along with this, and that's how I'll be creating the book. And at the very end of the movie, then I will interview the deck and get a little bit more information. And I don't know if you guys would be interested in seeing some of that play out in real time, so maybe I'll do something like that. So yeah, I definitely want to see how well I connect with it after I watch the movie, and look at the cards as I'm watching the movie and create my own little guidebook from the movie screening. So yes, I'm really, really excited. Wonder if I should edge this either black, green, or purple. Don't know yet. We'll see. Alright, so the 4 decks that we've gone through so far are Beetlejuice, Moon Void Tarot, the Peculair Pathways, and the Pax Tarot that was a Kickstarter. I do have another Kickstarter that I haven't opened up yet, but I'm going to leave that as the very last prompt and you'll see why. Alright, so let's move on to the next prompt. Alright, for the second prompt here we have decks that I've dabbled with but not fully integrated into my practice. The first one here is the Alchemical Tarot by Robert M. Place. He has a book regarding the interpretations for each card. Each card gets a comparison between RWS and as well as Marseille, if I'm not mistaken, and it goes over the alchemical process of each and every card, and you'll see that delineated throughout each card as well. It's really well done. It's beautiful illustrations. I bought the book and I have no idea where the book is. I'm not sure. I feel like I do have some sort of mischievous ghost here that loves to take my books because he knows that that's where it hurts. Okay, so that is the Alchemical Tarot, and I'm not sure when or how I'll be able to integrate this type of deck into my practice, but I feel like I'm putting too much on myself right now, and but we'll see how that goes. Now, this deck is a pretty recent acquisition. This is the Glowwood Oracle, and I think I've mentioned this one at least 2 or 3 times in previous videos. It's such a unique voice. It's about ecology, but in its essence, it's really showing you the interconnectedness between the creatures, right, in the forest, whether it's the animals or the plants or the trees, and it kind of shows you how they work together and also how they affect each other, whether in a positive or in a negative light, whether we're seeing something in regards to disharmony. And I feel because of that reason why we're seeing that connection, this is a great deck for us to see a little bit more clearly our interpersonal relationships with others. And I did one reading with this already, and it was so incredibly detailed, precise, and I really enjoy this deck. So this is something I don't know if I need to pull this very often, but I feel like if I were to do so, I feel like it will answer the question very accurately. This is a deck I feel like I have to continue reading the guidebook over and over again, and I might actually put some of the words on the borders. I'm not sure how, because it's a little busy around the corners as well, but so that I don't have to refer to the guidebooks when I want to read this for creators or clients, because I feel like this would be a really great deck to work with clients. I just don't want to bring out the guidebook while I'm reading for a client, so I think I'm gonna have to like just write on the edges here. Okay, so that is the Glowwood Oracle and the Alchemical Tarot. And last but not least here, another one that hasn't been integrated into my practice is the Tea Leaf Oracle. This one hasn't been integrated just because I think I just have to do a lot of busy work in regards to figuring out what I want to write on the cards and how to, create the best type of spreads that I can use for clients or for myself. And the Alchemical Tarot, it's more of like, I'm not sure exactly how to go about creating spreads and making this tarot deck useful. I know it's based on alchemy, but I just I need to figure that out a little bit more, and I think I just have to delve into the subject of alchemy a little bit better. I've immediately resonated with it because it just reminded me so much of like organic chemistry and going through that back in my undergrad. All right, so the Tea Leaf Oracle is a little hard for me because I don't know how to read this deck very easily. I've tried to work on it as a deck like the Lenormand and Kipper, but however, sometimes it just doesn't seem to flow very easily, and I'll give you an example of what I mean when I'm struggling with this deck here. Okay, so let's see. So here we have Forest, which means unclear thinking, and then Horseshoe, which means good luck, and then a younger man, dealing or a relationship with a younger person. So as you can see here, it's a little hard to integrate how muddled thinking could affect the Horseshoe. Like maybe perhaps it's saying that it's not necessarily a shoe-in, it's not a great success, it's not an easy success. There's going to be like maybe some hardships or obstacles in regards to that, and this is pertaining to a person that will be bringing in that good luck for you. See, it's a little rough for me, but that might be just because of the type of readings that I'm used to. I think with Lenormand, because you're reading in pairs, it's a little bit easier to work with. So this is just something that I think I just need a little bit more practice on. I get easily dissuaded when it comes to this deck, and it's unwieldy. Like it has so many cards, so it's a little hard when it comes to shuffling as well. But I use the little bag that it came with, so we'll see how that goes and progresses. I by no means am thinking of removing this from my practice at all, or from my collection, but it's just a little hard at this point in time. All right, so that is prompt 2, stuff that I've dabbled with but not completely integrated into my practice, but because I'm putting this on video, I'm making sure that I keep with it and putting myself out there to make sure that I'm being held accountable. All right, so we're going to move into prompt 3, which is decks that I'm unsure about. Prompt 3 are decks that I'm not sure of. These are decks that are really great decks, but I'm not sure if they belong in my long-term collection. For example, Root and Wings Oracle deck by Kat Riles. It's a beautiful deck. I've used it a couple of times on clients and for myself, and it always brings really great readings. and they resonate really well with my clients. However, I feel like this is not something I necessarily use very often, especially for myself. I'm not the type of person who does like more of the psychoanalytical spiritual questions. I have a tendency to do a little bit more practical questions, predictive questions for myself, and I think that's the reason why I don't use it. However, now that I'm starting a tarot channel, I feel like I'm a little bit more gravitating towards that type of questions and practicing a little bit more and kind of stepping out of my comfort zone in regards to this. So I'm kind of on the fence on whether to keep this or not. I do want to whittle down my collection. I do plan to make a video in regards to that. I know I have an arbitrary number of 20 cards at most. Like I really wanted to bring it down to 10. However, just the sheer amount of systems that I work with, I don't know if I can do something like that. Because I don't work with just tarot. I like to work with Sibylla, Kipper, Lenormand, and other type of systems such as geomancy. So, okay. And the same goes with Wisdom of the Oracle. It's a very similar type of Oracle deck where you have a keyword underneath. I really do enjoy how this particular deck uses other type of systems such as the I Ching and runes and things like that. And I do have a series on that. I'm currently working on the second video. I've already typed everything I needed to because I have to do a lot of research in regards to each deck and how it resonates with the tarot deck, runes or I Ching or Lenormand or things like that. So anyway, so I've had this for quite some time, but I don't know whether to keep or whether to sell. I probably won't sell just because I did trim it off and then I plan to cut the corners, and I don't know if anybody would want to have a deck like that. But anyway, I might just keep this particular deck. And then last but not least, the Romance Angels by Doreen Virtue. This is a deck that I've had in my possession for quite some time, but I think I've only used it once or twice, specifically for my clients. This is the Japanese version because at the time I could not get the American version. This was a long time ago, and I love the fact that it didn't have the gilding on it because I didn't really like that color. Like I said before, I didn't really use this with my clients as much as I thought I would. I was using more just a very extensive tarot spread. And I was thinking maybe this would kind of like be at the tail end of the reading and just kind of give a positive affirmations, but it wasn't necessarily my style. So I don't know whether I want to start integrating this into my readings, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes in regards to this particular deck. All right, and we're going to start prompt 4 in just a little bit. All right, for the very fourth prompt, this is decks that need a little bit more time commitment from me, and the very first one that I'm going to talk about is a brand new Kickstarter for me, and it's the Matrauna Terocchi Italiani by Valentina De Luca. All right, so this particular deck is number 582 for me. The creator of this, Valentina, was she's such a beautiful soul, such a wonderful person, very communicative throughout the whole campaign. And I know she was going through a lot of things, but she made the process so smooth, and she worked tirelessly to get these decks out for everyone. I know you guys seen this deck a million times before, but they're just absolutely so gorgeous, aren't they? Let's see if we can get the lover's card here with the bag. If I haven't mentioned, I also got the bag as well because you've got to show some love for this artist. Just absolutely beautiful. See if I could get the moon card here. How gorgeous is that? I might be a little bit biased because my name's Moon, but how gorgeous are these? Okay, so let's look at some of the minors here. Just take a sneak peek. So speaking of minors, this would be my first time ever really delving into the Marseille traditional type of cards. So therefore, it's going to be a bigger time commitment for me in order to learn. And because of that, I decided to do a couple of things. I bought a few books regarding the Marseille tradition. I know Valentina mentioned that she was gonna do a PDF as well. I also bought the Squid Cake Marseille Tarot because I know a lot of YouTubers recommended this particular deck as an introduction. into the Marseille tradition, specifically because of the guidebook. It's very well written, so I can't wait to delve into more in regards to this. I've already read a couple of chapters out of a specific book in regards to the history of the Marseille. And I will be doing a series with Desiree in which we will go over the things we've learned regarding the Marseille Tarot in order for us to know how to work and read the Tarot of Marseille. So hopefully you guys will join us in regards to that and bring in your own input, because we're always open to your viewpoints and what your tips and tricks in regards to reading and things like that, and your own experience. So, all right. I have one more deck in regards to needing a bigger time commitment. And if you could just give me 1 second, I'll be right back. The second deck that will need a little bit of more time than usual would be the Spirit Keepers by Benebell Wen. And I've shown this deck before. This is also an incredible deck here that I mentioned, and I think I recently saw a video, I forgot the name of the channel, but it's a new YouTuber for me who reviewed the book, and he mentioned that a lot of YouTubers out there refer to this book as the social studies book that they wish they had during, you know, their academic schooling here. And I haven't dug deep into this book just yet. I did read the little white book that came along. I think it's in here somewhere. Yes, this little white book here. And it's incredibly thorough. However, this book here is slightly intimidating just for the sheer volume, because the type of voice that Benebell Wen has, it's incredibly just very warm and receptive and inviting. So it's not necessarily her diction that's the problem, it's just the sheer volume and just feeling overwhelmed, because a part of me wants to finish this whole book before I start digging into the actual deck here. But yes, I cannot wait to dig into this book here, but I don't know whether I'll be able to this year just because of the different projects that I have going on, and I don't want to keep delaying it. That's my biggest worry here. So hopefully this deck will continually wait for me until I dig deep, but this is definitely not leaving my collection at all. Alright. So those are my 4 categories for the 12 deck tag. And from the ones that I've shown you, there will be some decks that I'll be using for the Deckcollectorsclub challenge as well. This challenge is just make sure that we actually use our decks from our collection, and each deck will be used for 1 week, and then I'll be filming the different spreads that I'll be doing, the interviews, and any other things that I'll be doing along the way with the particular decks. I think at one point for the 5th day we actually integrate Iching with the decks as well. So you'll be getting, I think the very first week I'll be doing the Peculair Pathways Tarot, if I'm not mistaken. I'd love to know what decks in your collection are sitting unopened, or which ones you're not sure about. Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear. And if you want to follow along with the Deckcollectorsclub journey, make sure to subscribe, and I'll be starting that pretty soon, as well as the Madre Luna tarot deck with Desiree. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a beautiful day, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.